EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for November 5th, 2025. Welcome to Wild Weather Wednesday, brought to you by Pure Sight and Sound. If your home theater came from the same store where you bought your refrigerator, you don't have a theater, you have electronics. Pure Sight and Sound doesn't ask you to adapt to the equipment, they adapt the design to your home. It may not feel like a bargain when you see the proposal, but when the lights go down and the story begins, you'll know you made the right call. Luxury isn't sold next to appliances, it's built into experiences. Call Ed today at the phone number above me here in the video, 570-992-2992, or visit them on the web at puresightandsound.com. Pure Sight and Sound, with you from the first wire to forever. So today we have a mild day, and that's because we have a area low pressure moving across the Great Lakes. It's going to be strengthening as it heads across New England. It will have a cold front associated with it, and it's hard to see here, but there is a cold front that's back here. The cold front's really not going to be with much fanfare for our region. Not a lot of precipitation with it, but there will be a southwesterly wind flow out ahead of this today. It's going to get these temperatures up in the 60s. As you see above me, a mild day, 60 to 68 is the temperature spread today, but then quite a difference on the opposite side of that front tomorrow, 48 to 56. That 48 is going to be in the far northern mountainous regions, though, but the rest of us are generally in the 50s on Thursday. Now, this is going to move through, and it has a few showers with it, mainly favoring our northern areas and in interior locations, and it's going to kind of fall apart as it heads further southeast, but there still could be an isolated shower in our southeastern areas this evening if it holds together. And then as soon as this front moves through, you're going to know it because the winds are going to pick up and they're going to be roaring, okay? So here's the NAM high-res future simulated radar starting us off at 5 p.m., and you see the showers associated with this are in northwestern Pennsylvania, western New York at this point. As it heads eastward, again, this does kind of weaken a little bit, so there could be some showers mainly across the northern tier, but you wouldn't be surprised if something survived a little further south and east. Late evening, this is looking at 10 p.m., and there's 11, there's noon, so this might go all the way down here. You could survive with a quick shower there in some of those places. As soon as the front clears, though, that's when the wind comes in, and this is what it looks like at 8 p.m. when it's out here in west central Pennsylvania and moves across the region. It's going to make itself known pretty rudely, okay? It's going to be some pretty high wind gusts, but we are not as aggressive in our forecast with the wind as the Weather Service is. They have some gusts up to 60 miles per hour expected. I don't see any support for 60 miles per hour. I think 40 to 50 is a legitimate and reasonable call. There could be maybe an isolated, somebody gets to 51, 52, maybe 53. That would be the upper end of this, though, as it moves through. Most of you are going to see 40 to 45 mile per hour gusts, which are still plenty significant, okay? So they're going to wipe a lot of these. Some leaves are falling off the trees right now. They're going to go for a ride. If you were out raking leaves and just clean up your yard, it's going to be a mess again the next day, all right? So we have a lot of those gusts here, but you see where these little oranges are popping up here? That's when 48 miles per hour is reached, okay? That means 48 miles per hour or greater, and as this moves across, here's 11 p.m., you see it go across South Jersey, a couple 48s here popping up, and then you got even a 52 here in central South Jersey over, Burlington and Ocean counties here in New Jersey. And that's, this is going to go straight across. It's interesting, though, that their wind advisories they have are mainly for the northern tier, north of there, but it's actually going to be an area-wide threat for this wind. So I'm not sure why they stopped the high wind watches that far north, but this will move through. It's going to be a quick surge, and then it's going to remain breezy overnight with some 25 to 35 mile per hour gusts are going to go right into Thursday morning, and then it's going to remain breezy here on Thursday during the day with winds 15 to 25, some peak gusts up to 30 during the daylight hours of Thursday, and then once we get to the evening, this disappears rather quickly, okay? So we're not going to be dealing with this all day or all night on Thursday night, but the big surge here is coming in mid to late evening as this front clears from west to east. On either side of midnight, it's going to be its absolute worst as far as highest peak wind gusts, and then once we get to about 2, 3 a.m., you're still windy, but it's just going to be 25 to 35 gusts and maybe some peak gusts that get up to about 40. That's going to be the limit of that. So we're just lowering it a little bit. It's still going to remain windy overnight. In terms of a gust spread, if I take this and just do the accumulated gust of that entire period, RGEM is a little more aggressive with some 50 showing here. But in the interior, the highest I'm seeing here is 48 meters, or 49 here at Mount Pocono. So again, 40 to 50 in terms of a peak max gust in that time frame. It does, however, in parts of New Jersey get to 50, 52, 53. So there's a couple spots there get a little higher. The RGEM was a little bit overestimated on the last wind event we had, which is just a day ago, right, overnight. And then the European model for that same time period is not as aggressive with those winds, where it's generally in that 40 to 45 range with some isolated between 45 and 50. So if we kind of blend the two, 40 to 50 is a good call. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with the wind. And again, it's going to continue overnight. Not quite as windy as that initial surge, but then you're going to have windy conditions going into Thursday morning, and then breezy conditions following during the daylight hours of Thursday. So once this is out of here, high pressure is going to move into our region and clear things out. So we'll be mostly sunny on Thursday, but again, breezy conditions. And then Friday will be a partly cloudy start, mostly cloudy finish to the day. Late in the day, we have the clouds moving in as another cold front moves through. This one does not have a big wind gradient with it, so it's not going to be as windy with this one, but there are some showers coming through with this. It looks like overnight Friday night, and then early Saturday morning, you have any leftover clouds giving way to partial clearing in the afternoon, again in between systems. And then finally is this big one. This is not a big storm. There's some showers with this on Sunday. Maybe starts as early as late Saturday night, but some showers going into Sunday afternoon as this moves through. And this is on the lead of a very deep trough that's going to bring in some much colder temperatures into the region here. Once this clears the region, there is some pretty chilly temperatures that are sitting up here, and even some Ohio Valley snow showers in parts of West Virginia, the mountains here in Kentucky and Ohio. They might have some snow showers with that. Western Pennsylvania can get into that. I don't know that it's going to get in here yet, and the trends have been against that here in the last 24 hours. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but there is the opportunity here as it changes to a precipitation type map, which is right there. You can see some blue showing up here, right? So that's kind of hanging with the upper level low over the Ohio Valley. And I wouldn't be surprised if that does, in fact, occur for those areas. But it's kind of bypassing our area here. But there's a very deep trough here. And the bottom line here is that we're going to go from this on Saturday, where temperatures are going to be a little bit milder. Not quite as mild as today, but still solidly in the 60s. And then we go back into Sunday. Sunday is a near average day with that front working through and those showers. And then look at this here for Monday and Tuesday. We have temperatures here, departures from average 10 to 12 degrees below normal, coming at a time when average highs are between 53 and 58. So you do the math there, you're looking at like a 40 to 45 degree temperature spread in that Monday and Tuesday time frame. So it's pretty chilly, a little bit early for this, but it's not quite cold enough for like we're stuck in the 20s and 30s, not that cold. So, there could be an opportunity here for temperatures certainly in the 40 to 45 degree range, and certainly colder than average for this time of year. And that's going to be mainly early next week. But even after this moves out, the extreme temperatures is still going to remain below average, we think, up until about mid-month before we start to see a milder week 3 as has been projected by our long-range outlook now for a couple weeks. So we're always expecting that third week of the month, and maybe a couple days past that, to be a return to slightly above average temperatures relative to that time of year at that time. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is your outlook for November 5th, 2025. Have a great Wednesday.